There have been many different zombie games released over the years, with varying different play styles and mechanics. The game we'll be covering today was released a while ago to average reviews. However, it has a massive open world, beautiful graphics, plenty of zombies, and a great story. I'm Chongo, and this is Days Gone, the zombie game you should be playing.
We'll make it quick. Don't look like you'd be suffering for too long. Leon, you got a little problem here. See, they can smell your blood from all the way down there.
What do you suppose that feels like?
Huh?
Torn apart,
Eaten alive.
You play as Deacon St. John, an ex-biker who early on lost his wife in the apocalypse. He's been mad ever since.
I think he's dead. You're gonna break my shotgun.
It's refreshing to play as a character that has flaws, and isn't someone who's a goody two-shoes, someone who you actually believe would be able to make it in a zombie apocalypse. You'll spend a great deal of time with your brother/friend Boozer, who was an ex-biker, who you plan to travel up north with. You'll interact with many other characters, some that have a backstory with Deacon and Boozer, and other new characters. They all seem interesting enough to hear their story, besides the somewhat generic people you save out in the open world that all look quite similar. Unlike in other zombie games, you'll start 2 years into the apocalypse. Every time you pause the game, you're given an indicator in days to how many days have gone by. This is also a different take as well, since other games like to start from the very beginning, and it deals with the same concept of everyone coming to terms with what's happening in this new zombie apocalypse-filled world, whereas Days Gone skips over that entirely. In true zombie media fashion, the zombies have their own name in Days Gone, that being Freakers or Freaks for short, which I think is a bit offensive to actual freaks like those who hit the like and subscribe button. The game's combat is quite standard for third-person shooters, but it does feature one of the most dramatic combat tutorials I've ever seen. You'll have access to Deacon's survival instinct, which will highlight items that can be picked up, such as crafting materials or parts from trees or scrap that can be used for repairing. These can be used to make things like bandages, Molotov cocktails, or crossbow bolts. The system isn't tedious and is quite easy to stay on top of. Unlike other zombie games, you'll actually have a permanent mode of transport across this massive open world, this being Deacon's motorbike. Early on in the game, Deacon's bike is damaged, and Deacon has the perfect hiding spot when he looks for supplies to fix his bike. Unfortunately, someone was able to find his bike, and I have no idea how.
My bike's gone.
So from that point, Deacon starts off with a basic bike that needs upgrading, but in each encampment you visit, you'll have different parts that may be better for your bike for sale. This creates a fun gameplay loop of completing quests for camp credits that can be then spent on upgrading your bike or buying guns and other items. You'll also have to put fuel in your bike from time to time, but these are found almost all over the place. As well as you may have to repair your motorbike when it gets damaged with scrap that you've looted, or you can pay for someone to repair it at an encampment. There are many other enemies throughout this world, such as drifters and other crazy people that would like to kill you. So normally you try and kill them before they kill you. You're able to use melee or ranged combat to take these enemies down. The way you acquire more gear and items in the game is through killing freaks and picking up their ears. Bit of a weird system, but it works out well, and you'll be rewarded for turning these ears in at camps, which will be converted into camp credits. Once you've swapped your ears and you have some currency, you are free to purchase items such as guns and attachments, but what I found myself doing mostly was wanting to find cool upgrades for Deacon's motorbike. However, there are many other cool weapons, some of which are only available at certain camps, so you may find yourself saving up your ears and taking these to buy a really cool weapon you'd like to try out and use. The biggest addition to Days Gone is the Horde. Freaks move around like animals and during the day can be found hidden in caves. The feeling you get when you accidentally stumble upon a massive horde that you're not ready for is quite intense and feels quite like a horror game. However, if prepared, you can make the encounter not as troublesome. For the much bigger hordes, you'll need to think about a better strategy rather than shooting and running, such as setting up traps and shooting explosive barrels when freaks are nearby. I found myself wanting to stop completing missions for a while to hunt down hordes. Early on in the game, hordes can be found at random, however looking for a dark hidden place during the day is a good lead. Later on in the game, hordes' general locations will be marked on a map for you to check and find and collect more ears. When taking on the smaller hordes, it may seem quite easy, but when you take on a large horde, all it takes is one mistake and you'll be finished. As you gain levels in the game, you'll be able to use these to get perks and improve Deacon's abilities. These are split into 3 groups: melee, range, and survival. Some of these add new abilities and others improve already existing ones. For example, focus allows you to slow down motion while aiming, while others may make your aim and precision better. Days Gone has to be one of the most beautifully crafted and looking games, especially in the zombie genre, and you can tell the amount of love and attention to detail that has gone into this by everyone on the team. The story feels like it goes on forever in a good way. There is so much to explore and heaps of missions and side missions to complete. It doesn't seem like a sequel is currently on the cards at this stage due to the initial poor reception, but regardless, this game has so many areas where it triumphs over other games, it's not funny. I recommend you check it out if you'd like to have some fun killing zombies and exploring a beautifully crafted world with a great story.